You know, I don't know when I'm gonna put this video out, but I found it very strange. You know, Anthony Joshua gets in a terrible car wreck. He survives, but I think 2 other people died. Man, like I'm telling you that you know, could it be a coincidence? I doubt it. You know, just what are the odds? Now, if he would have gotten a car wreck next year or something, but you know, I think he tried to get revenge for Mike Tyson. You know, Mike Tyson took the money. He needed it. You know, they wanted to elevate Jake Paul as like some great boxer. Anthony Joshua said, hell nah to that. You could see, you know, Jake Paul doing the tongue thing, and then Anthony Joshua doing the tongue thing back to him, and then boom, knocked out Jake Paul. And Jake Paul, you know, it wasn't a TKO. You know, it wasn't like a TKO where, you know, he's flinched out on the ground. You know, Anthony Joshua really just punished him bad, and, you know, Jake Paul ain't want no more of that. You know, they thought they could rig Jake Paul up to be this good boxer. And, you know, I'm pretty sure Jake Paul could beat, you know, maybe some real amateurs, but he not ready for the big leagues like that. And for him to get that win over Mike Tyson, you know, now everyone sees what fraud Jake Paul is. And, you know, the elites are, you know, I mean, I don't know, mafia, elites, whatever, whoever's over this boxing organization wanted to send a message, but Anthony Joshua survives. You know, it's kind of like this Kevin Hart thing. You know, he got in that car wreck and was, you know, gone for a long time. We don't know what's going on with this Anthony Joshua situation. They tried to get him. I guarantee you they tried to get him. Guaranteed. Well, I don't know what state he's in. We don't know if his legs work, his arms work. Like, we don't really know, but man, hopefully he's a tough cat. He makes it out, returns to boxing. But yeah, they tried to get him. You know, he survived. You know, that might have been the message. They might not need no more. They might not have to, you know, send a message anymore. I think people get it. You know, we're going to see Jake Paul's next fight. I mean, dude broke his jaw. His jaw was broke. You know, he got to live with that. It might have been better if he would have TKO'd him. TKO'd him, knocked him out, but he got a broke jaw. He going to be making content on that. The only thing with Anthony Joshua, you know, he really isn't arrogant about the situation or nothing. You know, he won his match fair and square. Elites didn't want that. They wanted to build Jake Paul up. Because if Jake Paul would have got this win off of Anthony Joshua, it would have elevated him more, and they was going to try to turn him into probably, they was going to try to make him into like the greatest boxer of all time, but Anthony Joshua killed that momentum. You know, Jake Paul isn't like this Brock Lesnar-esque figure where he's a true animal. You know, that's not Jake Paul. You know, Logan Paul definitely wasn't, you know, taunting Anthony Joshua like, I'll kill you and stuff, like how he was doing Mike Tyson. So, man, I'm telling you, they did not want Anthony Joshua to survive that. But I think the message is sent. Message is clear. You know, you gotta go by the playbook. He went off script. He went off script, bruh. He went off script, and he paid for it. He didn't pay with his life, but you know, he paid for it. You know, this is gonna shake up the boxing world, and it's probably gonna shake up, you know, other people Jake Paul has to fight in the future. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. You know, was this sacrifice that didn't go well, Or do you think it was a coincidence? Like, comment, subscribe.